Afternoon. Phillip Hutchinson, GreenbergTraurig, 777 South Flagler Drive. Mr. Chairman, board members, I want to speak in favor of the proposal that is before you, and a couple of things to bear in mind that I think is important. First of all, it would preserve the church, and we've all been talking about that. But not only from the standpoint of a historic landmark, but also maintaining the building. Because it's one thing to create a historic landmark, it's quite another to actually maintain it year after year. That's real money that has to come from somewhere, and they've stepped up to the plate, and I think that's extremely important. The second issue is the design actually respects the architecture of the building itself and also creates an iconic landmark for West Palm Beach. As an employer, I can tell you one of the things that we struggle with in recruiting talent to West Palm Beach is branding. People have an image of Miami, they have an image of Fort Lauderdale, they have an image of Atlanta. We are a blank sheet of paper. This puts something on that page. And that is important when you're recruiting talent from outside of the South Florida area because they don't have anything to look at. This provides that iconic image that puts us on an equal footing with Atlanta, with Miami, with Fort Lauderdale. And that is important. That is an important issue because bringing talent here, we're not the only game in town. The third issue, and it goes back to the Class A office space that everyone's been discussing up to this point. This is an actual plan to build something. It is not imaginary, it's real, it's substantive, and it fulfills a need that the city actually has. It's not creating one, it's fulfilling one that's already there, which is important because you can fill it up. It's not an empty building. And again, going back to the idea of branding, in order to create this financial district and make it something that's real and that's substantive, you're going to have Class A office space. That's what those types of people, myself included I suppose, are looking for. And that's what you draw talent to this area for, are the Class A spaces. There isn't really a middle ground for that. And lastly, the preservation of the green space is also important because again, in the branding idea, when you're going out and recruiting individuals to the city, having that image of a livable city is important. And it gives us a leg up on places like Miami and Fort Lauderdale. So with that, I would urge approval of it. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, sir.